Alright guys, Jeff Gamble. Today we're going over how to present like a pro. And again, this is something that I wish somebody would have taught me right off the bat and given me some instruction in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Gamble. I have a background in traditional business. Also been in network marketing and currently a John C. Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And the message today is really, how do you get to a point where you present like a pro? Well, first of all, you have to start presenting. The only way you're going to get good at presenting is presenting. I know that sounds weird, but there is a structure to it, and what I want to do is just give you a couple tips on how to structure your presentation. I had the ability to actually recruit to teams that I've been on over 8,000 customers. So if you get to a point where you have over 8,000 customers, I've personally recruited over 500 people. And really, once I got the presentation down, this became very, very simple. The first thing about a presentation is you have to have an opening. And the opening is really just building a little bit of rapport with the other person if you don't know them. If you do know them and it's a friend, then it's just really repeating what we talked about in one of the other videos about contacting is hey, I need 15 minutes. I want to tell you about what I'm working on outside of work. So if you run across the right person, you know how to refer them to me. This is something that I'm working on. Pretty excited about it. And then it goes into the story. Typically, I might even ask a question to kind of open it. I'd be like, have you ever heard of, whatever company you're in? I'll use the people's names. Have you ever heard of this guy? No. Have you ever heard of this guy? No. Well, those two guys actually got together and started, and that's kind of how I start. As I always tell a story. Stories sell and facts tell. The other thing that I would do is have a presentation book. Typically, most companies have a presentation book. If they don't, they have a video, and what you can do is you can take the video and turn it into a presentation book, so that way you have something that you're reading over and over again. Your presentation needs to be something that's repeated over and over and over again to the point where it's memorized. Once it becomes memorized, now it doesn't seem like you're reading anymore, it just seems like you're presenting. So it's going to take a little bit of time. So after the story, typically what you go into is what you market, why you market, why you're superior to everybody else, and why people want to buy it. Why people would want to be involved, what service, what product, is it, an energy drink, or is it a cell phone service, or is it a vitamin, I got all kinds of stuff here, is it water, I've heard all of them, is it sunglasses, is it jewelry, what do you market, why are you superior to everybody else, for some reason it's price, for some reason it's convenience, it doesn't always have to be it's cheaper or less expensive, some products are more expensive in the direct sales industry than they are outside, but they're a superior product because of how they're made or what's in them. Next is how you get paid. You do not have to give somebody a college education on how the comp plan works. It's just the basics. Guys, there's two things we do. We sell products and services, or we recruit people who sell products and services. There's nothing more to it than that. So don't make it any more complicated. There may be 7 to 18 ways to get paid. They don't need to know all those when you sit down and tell them. Just, hey, we've got a great plan where you can get paid to either market the product or you can actually build a team of people who market the product and you earn a percentage, kind of like building a real estate team. And make it that simple and basic. At the end of that, you also want to go over what system you have to build, how it actually works, and the leadership, what people you're working with. Here's some of the people, here's what they've done. Testimonials are the best that you can possibly do, and then there's a possibility of follow-up material that you can give them, or what I would suggest is even a third-party call. I don't do just personally, I didn't do a lot of third-party calls. That was just me. My system was I asked them a certain question, which we're going to go over in the next video when it talks about closing. How do you close people? I asked a certain question, and based on that question, I got them more information, and I told them, look, you're going to have to make a decision to do this. We're not going to try to convince you to do it. That was just my own personal technique. It worked really well for me. It's worked really well for a lot of people, so we'll go over that in another video. And from there, I just repeated. I contacted somebody, I invited them, I opened with, give me 15 minutes. If I didn't know them, I got to know them a little bit. Hey, where are you from? What do you do? How do you know the person who invited you here? What do you do for work? Knowing what they do for work and knowing who they are and knowing the backgrounds of people, you're going to be able to recruit a whole lot more people if you just take a couple minutes just to find out who they are. I had a friend, he had showed over 40 people the presentation in 1 month, which is more than most people do in a year. He used the presentation book, so he was reading and flipping and pointing, but he never got to know who anybody was. He's like, well, I don't care who they are. And I'm like, well, if you don't care who they are, it's going to be really hard to bring them onto your business. Because here's the thing. People actually get in with people. They don't get in with products. People do not sign up with products. If you think products sign people up, go set your product on your front porch and see how many people it recruits. 0. Go set your service of a brochure on the front porch to see how many people it signs up. Go set your DVD presentation. If you set your laptop outside, it's going to get stolen, so I won't even say that. But if you set your DVD outside, if you put your DVD in the player and put your big screen in front of the front window of your house and played it every day, you'll probably get your TV stolen. But it's not going to recruit anybody. People sign up with people. And it said that meetings make money, and what I found is presenters make the most money. Presenters make the most money. Whoever has the marker in the front of the room or whoever has the clicker in the front of the room, they're the ones that make the most money. They're also the best presenter in the room. I will guarantee that in pretty much every single case. They've also done more presentations. Sometimes they're not the best presenter, but they've done more presentations and have more people on the team. They just, been there longer. So, guys, I hope that tip helps out. What I want to know is what you think of this, what your background is in doing presentations, how you feel. If you don't know how to do a presentation and you're like, hey, I'm struggling, I'm trying to figure this out, I want to know how to do it. Record yourself. Record yourself in a video like this. Take your iPhone, record yourself, read the presentation, record it, and send it to me. And I'll be able to give you some tips on, maybe how to present better, how to open better, what your company's about, what your story. I was on the phone call with a guy from a company it's a big company, and he was telling me that all they're told to do is send out a website. I said, well, how's that working for you? He's like, I have 6 people. I'm like, and how long? He's like, 9 months. I'm like, you making any money? He's like, no. I'm like, stop doing that shit. Learn how to present. And he's like, well, they're telling us that that's not really how to do it. I said, let me ask you a question. If you called your insurance agent and you needed an insurance, and the insurance agent said, well, I'm going to send you a video, and you watch the video and tell me if you're interested in insurance, would you buy insurance for that guy? He said, no. I said, if you called a realtor and said, hey, I'm looking for a house, and the realtor said, well, I've got a DVD that I'm going to drop off and I'm going to send to you, and it's going to tell you about how real estate works, and if you want to buy a house, all you have to do is go on the website and look it up, and you can buy the house right from there. Would you work with that realtor? He said, no. I said, if you went to a car dealership and you said, hey, I really want to drive a BMW today, and instead of putting you in a car, they put you in front of a DVD or a website, and they had you watch a website, would you buy a car from that salesperson? He said, no. I said, then why the hell would you think that would work in network marketing? He's like, I never thought of that. I said, well, that might be something to consider, and you might want to learn how to present. So with that, guys, I hope you got a lot out of it. Let me know. Share a comment. Share the video. Like the video, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.